Now, if ith item ith item matches with a item in the transaction table item of ith transaction, jth item of ith transaction, then we are going to increment our counter C++, and finally when we have looked for the ith item in entire transaction table, we have counted each and every occurrence, or we have counted frequency of the ith item in the entire transaction table, then we store that in our L1 array, which we created for the same purpose. Item ID, I am assuming that user will be entering from 1, and as you all know that array are 0 based index, so L1 I minus 1, L1 of I minus 1 is equal to C. Now, as in L1 array, we have got all the items along with their frequency. So basically L1 is our frequency table. Now, we need to shortlist only those items which successfully satisfy the minimum acceptance threshold. Which means whose frequency is greater than or equal to minimum acceptance. So for that, I am here creating another table, P2 items. Basically, this will also be array, and at max, in worst case, it may happen that all the items may successfully satisfy the minimum acceptance threshold. So the max size of P2 items array may be max item ID. And to store items in this, we will also need a iterator apart from I. So I am naming that P2 position or P2 POS. For next subsequent steps or technically passes, for second and third pass, will need the count of only those items which successfully cross the minimum acceptance threshold. So for that, I am having another variable P2 count and initializing this also with 0, as I have initialized P2 position, P2 POS as with 0. So when finally here I have got the frequency of the ith item, and I'm storing the frequency C of the ith item here in L1 I minus 1. Now here I will add a subsequent further condition check, that if this frequency of L1 I minus 1, that is frequency of ith item, is greater than or equal to minimum acceptance level, then I am going to store it. Not only going to store, but also I will increment the count, P2 count. So I am going to store it in my P2 items array. So P2 POS, increment the position for subsequent entries is equal to I and P2 count plus plus.